wrote both your names, and I said, what do you want me to write on here? You remember what you said? You said Olympic gymnast because I'm going to the Olympics. I'm going to be really honest because that's the whole point of what we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
I actually thought, yeah, right. Do you remember when you came to my work, when I was at work before I retired and
Became a gardener and vlogger.
you became a gardener and what am I now? A podcaster.
A podcaster.
A podcaster. You came to my work and I said, there's two things as well, because what we must do is we must mention the dream cards. That's a very important part of what happened at the Olympic Games. And people are saying, oh, what's dream cards? And we'll explain that. It's important that people understand what the build-up was like to get to the actual high bar final. And the point I'm trying to make was when you came to my work, you had about 40 people in a room, completely silent, some of them crying, based on the story that you told about what it was like to do that high bar final. I
putting pressure on me
No,
now.
no, I'm not trying to put people. Not at the bloody Olympics. We were in your bedroom.
It's the Olympic final. Bear in mind, I've already competed 3 times now. Qualification, the team final, the all-round final. So I'd done a lot of competing at the Olympic Games, which the experience was second to none. We came so close as a team to winning the bronze. We were less than a mark away in 4th place, I believe. The best experience, however, slightly disappointing and gutting because we knew we were capable of getting in the top spots, and it was what it was. We competed on that day, so I'm about 6 days after competing because it were a long period, wasn't there? And the day had come where I had to do one more high bar routine at the Olympic Games. However, this was individually for a medal. It was kind of the first time that it was like, right, one routine, one shot. Because before I was with a team, I'm better with a team. Not slightly better, but it's an easier environment. I do my best gymnastics when it's for the team because your boys are there, the atmosphere's there. You've got all of us bouncing off each other. I always, for some reason, perform better for those 4 brothers, and it feels like it's just for you 5 at the time, but it is for the country, and it makes me so proud to wear that flag on my chest.
It's interesting, isn't it, that you use language, I always perform better when it's for the team.
Well, maybe that's my self-talk, but
it's true though.
It's history. It's factual.
Yes.
The best gymnastics I've ever done in my entire life was for the team.
Agreed.
This time it was different. I was on my own. We got in the back gym and there's only 8 guys. And I'll take you. We do the normal warm-up. Did my normal day. Had breakfast. Went down, and so you're in the back gym. Everyone's warmed up, and I remember just lined up outside. So there's 8 of you. A few of them have got the jackets on and the gloves, keeping their hands warm, and I think I was 3rd man up. So I was just there with my guards ready. You have no warm-up, you just warm up in the back gym and you go out and you do a routine, which is an interesting experience because usually you get a 3-minute touch, you get to touch the bar out in the arena. So it was the first time I was going to touch the bar. The feeling walking out, and it's just you at U8, there's 8 of you, looking around like, wow, this moment is
like
just...
goosebumps. In
that moment, a lot of people, and it's easy to go, oh my God, I don't like this. Like, what if I mess up? Look how many people are watching. This is so much pressure.
I hope I stay on.
Yeah, just things like that. Whereas my language in my head was just like, I'm going to smash this. Yeah. I've done this thousands and thousands of times. It's just another routine. Let's do it. Come on. Let's enjoy it. This is where, so I marched out. We lined up in front of the judges.
Do you remember you walked past us?
Yeah, I remember seeing you in the crowd.
There's a thing that we've had your whole career, haven't we, where... you always like to see us in the crowd, and we always like to give you a nod to say,
yeah, I like to find you. So I was looking around, and unfortunately, you was just above the thing, so I caught you straight away. I knew where you were sat. It's because I know when I nail my landing, I'm going to... But anyway, so I walked out, we lined up. This is where I'm going to take you back to the World Championships 2015. I've performed against all these gymnasts before. I've done 2 World Championships by this point, multiple European Championships, and it's the same competitors. And I've had success. And I remember at the 2015 Worlds, we finished competing. I think we're having a beer. And I said to Lewis Smith, I always like to pick his brains. I always like to pick anyone's brains, people who have achieved or done something that I aspire to do. And I remember just saying to him, what's it like then, mate, the Olympics? So he's done 2 at this point and won medals at both. We were having a chat and it went deep. And he's just said, now, honestly, nothing will ever compare to the way you feel in an Olympic final. At the time, I've never experienced it, so at the time I was just like, all right, whatever, Lewis, like, thanks. I don't know what you're talking about, because I just think, well, I've done a World Championships, I've done a world final. Why would it feel any different?
same.
It's just another.
Yeah.
It's my turn. So the guy and it was Zonderlander, if you remember.
Yeah,
and he came off. So that was a huge contender. He was the previous Olympic champion out of the competition because he'd hung off. So I'm just keeping my cool. But even then, you struggle to let these thoughts come in. It's like, well, there's a big chance now of me winning a medal. But it was, so I'm walk up and I go at the chalk bucket, and it wasn't until that point I remember thinking back to the conversation with Lewis, and he was like, "Oh my God, he's absolutely right." Like I've never felt like that. Yeah, environment. I've never felt anything like it in that moment. Just the sheer excitement, fear, like
nerves,
butterflies, everything. And it was at that moment when I was chalking my handguards up that I was like, and he said he can't explain it, but it was exactly how he said it. I then walked over at the bar, stood at the end of the mat. The judges were ready. The green light went on. Did my thing, put my arm up, screamed, "Come on, let's do this. I can do this." Yeah. And then, honest to God, I do not remember a single second of being on that bar. Not a second. It was like my body went into this
autopilot.
Yeah, it was like muscle memory, just autopilot. I cannot today recall being on that bar. It was weird. It was a weird experience afterwards. The only thing I remember were my feet planting the floor and sticking a dismount. And I don't really know what had gone on the bar. Like I could have done a rubbish routine, but I'd stuck the landing, and that's when the emotion erupted out of my body. Like the way I felt, I just remember screaming. I looked over at you, and you guys were all crying and going absolutely mental. And I marched down, and my heart, the feeling was unbelievable. The score came up, I was in second place, 15-4, 3-3 or 15-4, 6-6. I can't remember what it was. That was then the start of a new experience because I had no control over what went on then. So I'm in second place. There's another 5 gymnasts left to go. The next one goes, and he scores 15-1.
Yeah.
The next one goes 14-8. The next one fell off. And the more and more it's getting closer to the mark where it's like, oh my God. And I remember Sam McCulloch scored 15-4. So I got 15-4, 3-3. And so it was you're talking like 0.00 of a tenth. I think it was the second to last guy went, and he were Brazilian, so the crowd were going absolutely crazy, mental. Yeah. And he stuck his dismount.
I know.
And then
I can feel it now.
I'm getting like some anxiety right now thinking about the moment. His score popped up, and it was something like 49.
Yeah.
So that moment from when I realised I had an Olympic medal, I was in second place with the last guy to go. I had like tingles, like from my head to my foot. Like, I don't know, I was just tingling.
Yeah, it was like...
it was like, oh my God. I just the emotion just hit in. Then I got quite emotional, started tearing up. Or on the floor, like there was still gymnastics going on. And I'm just walking around like with my head in my hands thinking, I've done it. I've got an Olympic medal, like a dream. Yeah, it was so special. There's so many emotions up and down, and it's literally one of the best feelings in my entire life to then have a platform to be where we are today. The experience after it. But if I could go back and relive a moment, a feeling, it'd 100% be that one. And I think I'm inspired by the work that I put in is for getting that feeling again.
Yeah,
100%.
You're talking about training your whole life. Just to step back to the handprints. So that was in 2003. 2003. So
7 years old I was.
7 years old. My closet I was starting to come out of the closet from a gardening perspective. I was doing some gardening one night. I was laying a patio at the back, and I had 2 little squares, and I thought what I'll do is I'll put some concrete in it and get the kids' handprints, yours and Joanna's handprint. So I
remember doing it.
Yeah, I did Joanna for Joanna. Just screamed all the way through it. She cried, "I'm not putting my hands in there. I'm not doing that." I said, "Get your hands in." And then when I did yours, you put your hands in. I wrote both your names, and I said, "What do you want me to write on here?" You remember what you said? You said Olympic gymnast because I'm going to the Olympics. I'm going to be really honest because that's the whole point of what we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
I actually thought, yeah, right, of course you are. If you tell me I'm going to the Olympics, I think, wow, that's amazing that you want to do it, but blooming heck, it's a long way away.
It goes back to the first point we talk about, the odds and...
The passion and the drive and the belief. You just said it like, matter of fact, I'm going to the Olympics, 7 years old. But what I didn't do as a parent is I didn't think, oh, right, I'm bringing up an Olympian now. Because he's going to the Olympics, so I'm now bringing up an Olympian. I need to be an Olympic athlete's dad, not just a Nile Wilson dad. So that's not what I thought. To me, you were still just Nile. Because the most important thing to me over everything else was bringing you up as a nice person. Part of what I do is I say to the parents in the room, I say, put your hand up. If you think about this now, if you're listening, I say to them, put your hand up if you see your mum and dad in you. And I've been in rooms with 100 people and all 100 have put their hands up.
You kind of take after your mum and dad with some of your behaviours and what you do.
Yeah. So then the second question to that is, okay then, put your hand up if you see yourself in your kids. So all the hands go up again. These are parents that have got gymnasts at a very young age, up to teenage years. What you invest as a parent is what you will produce. Like you reap what you sow. What you will produce in terms of being a parent and what your child is like. Because you are the biggest influence on your child. You are the person that drives their beliefs and their attitude and what. And people say, if you say, right, who influences children, or they say YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, videos, all the online stuff, teachers, friends, peers. But parents are a massive part of that. And if you also think about as well, what are the key attributes of bringing up a nice person? And you think about, well, it's having a great attitude, having passion, having drive, being nice, great communicator, talks to people, got goals, got beliefs, following their beliefs. So that's what bringing up a nice person.
Hardworking.
Yeah, hardworking. So what are the attributes of bringing up an elite sportsman?
Passion, drive, hard work, polite.
There is no difference, is there? There is no difference. All of them things apply to a nice person to bringing up. So
the person comes first.
Absolutely. So when you put your hands in the concrete, and it went on the BBC because they were like calling it's like this Hollywood Boulevard thing, didn't we? Your handprints in, and it was funny because you you were on BBC whatever, and you messaged me said, "Dad, I need a picture of handprints." Me and Mum were in bed. And I'm saying to someone, I need a picture of handprints. How do we get that? She said, you like to go outside and take it. I said, well, I got my dressing gown on. It's raining. I'm trying to get these. And then you message me back, don't you? Go, it's all right, Dad. I've got one.
I've got one. Yeah. You were half naked outside.
Yeah. That was the handprint story, and you saying you were going to the Olympics. But the fact is, you said it. We wrote it in a piece of concrete. We've got the photo evidence, and you went.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah. Like on the influence thing, when you were saying that about the kids, I do. There's one thing I love. One of the questions is who's your biggest influence?
Yes.
Who are the biggest influences on you? And people, yourselves will reel off your parents.
Yep.
Your friends, your teachers, your coaches, your environment, what you watch.
YouTube.
Online. And I think...
Not true.
Well, yeah. The biggest influence on yourself is yourself. And I think when coming to grips with that is really kind of like light bulb moment. What I do, everything that happens to me is because of me.
Absolutely.
And I think when you get to that place of accountability, there's kind of victim versus being accountable for your actions and understanding that everything happens to you because of you. And then the fact as well that you get to choose your attitude.
Yes.
You get to choose with anything that happens in life.
Positive or negative.
Your attitude is a choice, and I think I certainly see it in other people when I've seen it myself recently. Sometimes we spoke about mental health. It's not as easy to just be positive and and shift your attitude, but it's so true. Something like falling out with someone at work, someone's been a bitch at work.
I'll tell you the best one: a queue at a hotel and you want to check in.
I tell you what, I hate running out of ketchup. I swear to God, ketchup. And you lose. You absolutely go mental. And well, not everyone. What I'm like now is I run into traffic. You could say it's fine. I can't control this. What I can do is put some good music on. Or you know what? I'll ring my dad.
Or listen to a Neil and Nile podcast.
Yeah. Come on, Dad.
I'm a plugger. I'm a big plugger. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but it's right. And it's you cannot control the traffic, but you then produce chemicals in your body that gets you angry for a good hour and a half because the traffic was horrendous
and
this morning.
Not healthy.
And it was raining. So straight away in your day, you've started it like that when actually it's just a choice in your mind. You could be like, what I always say it to myself is the little trigger is, it's fine. Just those words, they just resonate with me. I don't know, with anything that kind of gets me going. It's fine.
It's just a queue.
It's fine. Well, then with the Queen story.
Yeah.
Met our Elizabeth. There were loads and loads of stuff. There were so many stories that I'd love to tell. So after the Olympics, it's just a whole whirlwind of experiences and things, and particularly the medalists. So the special reception at Buckingham Palace. We got in on a bus, one of the double-decker Red London buses, went through into Buckingham, came out, went through security, went inside, and the magnificent place. There's 3 rooms, all open, unbelievable, champagne on tap, just walking around, canapes, beautiful. We're all in our Team GB suits. The whole idea was the royal family were going to be there, so it was just I was so excited, and I think I had a bit too many.
Did they serve prosecco at Buckingham Palace or proper champagne?
No, it was like magnums of Veuve Clicquot or something, or Dom Perignon. With Tom Daly and Dan for the majority part. There was obviously all the medalists there. So Dan, good fellow, his diving partner. We were having a drink and having some food and having a chat. One of the guys, like a butler, just came over and said, right, the Queen's now going to walk through with Prince Philip and
ladies in waiting.
That's it. So they're going to walk through the room, so your best chance of meeting her is just stand in the centre. So there's no guarantee that you're going to meet her. You are not allowed to approach the Queen.
Okay.
So we just...
A selfie.
Yeah. We just stood there, just kind of waiting. And I remember I was looking, she was chatting to the rowers, then went from chatting to them, just turned to her left and looked me directly in my eyes. She kept the eye contact the whole way, and I was just like, oh my God, she's walking over me. She just walked out and just stuck out this little white glove.
Did you know what to do? Did you have to
No, we didn't get like...
you just shook
so I went, I swear to
no,
God.
Oh God, no. What did you do? What did you say?
I said, this is a fact, this is going in the indent. I put my hand out to the Queen and said, hey up, how you doing? You all right? I swear to God. I said, hey up, how you doing? I'm Nile. Like, hey up, how you doing? All right. She shook her hand, and then
Did she say, you should put that in your YouTube?
Didn't know what to say. And then
what did she say?
Then she stood there for about 60 seconds, about a minute. We were kind of chatting about, so she asked her what I was doing into gymnastics, and she was commented on me being a bit shorter because she was chatting to the rowers who were all 7 foot, and I was like, yeah, you need to be small and light to do. She's really tiny about it. She was smaller than me.
You could do gymnastics, Liz. You're right. You'll be all right.
Well, I was just completely just baffled about what was happening right now. She just wandered off again, and then I looked at Tom, and he looked at me, and we were like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
So out of the few, she only actually spoke to you.
No, like Tom did a bit of talking.
Right.
I did a bit of talking. She just spoke to like the both of us, then went off. And then at this point, the whole time, I was busting for the toilet. I needed a wee. So I kind of like just took it in and I was like, right, I'm going to wee myself. Ran out, went to the toilet, which was just like the best toilets I've ever been in my life. Like absolutely incredible, posh.
Better than space at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah.
I came out. And then Will and Kate and Harry are dotting about, and they were a bit more informal. It was just like they were having a crack. And so I kind of walked over, and then Kate came over to me. I was mesmerised because she's very fit, obviously. I was like,
I don't know
wow.
if you can say that. Very attractive.
Very attractive.
Royalty.
She said, oh, well done, Niall. I watched the gymnastics. You're absolutely brilliant. So to that point, I was like, oh my God, she knows who I am.
Honestly.
I swear to gosh.
Well done, Niall. I watched the
gymnastics. You were absolutely unbelievable. So I'm like, oh my, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So I'm chatting to her about it, and she's asking how Rio was. Then the next thing, Harry like pops his head in, Prince Harry. He goes, you better not be chatting up my sister-in-law. And Harry's a boy, like he's a top lad. Yeah. He's just like one of the lads. He'd be sat here just having a crack and that. Yeah. So that was special.